Hi, I'm Rob and I love movies. After the brutal murder of his girlfriend, a young man named Iggy wakes up one morning with horns growing out of his head and the power to make those around him tell him their deepest and darkest secrets. And he uses that power to hunt down the actual murderer of his girlfriend, even though the entire small town that they lived in believes that he was the murderer. So that's the basic plot of the film Horns, which is based off the novel by Joe Hill, novel of the same name, of course, and is directed by Alexandre Aja and stars Daniel Radcliffe as the main character Iggy, Juno Temple as his girlfriend, and David Morse and James Remar as their fathers. Yeah. Alright, so the film is technically a fantasy thriller, but it's also, in a lot of ways, a dark comedy. And now it's raining. So, now it's raining harder. Alright, hopefully you can still hear me, but, now I'm just too distracted by the rain. I'm sorry. So the film, like I said, it's definitely a dark comedy. In a lot of ways, it's pretty absurd. The basic premise, you know, he's accused of murdering his girlfriend, and then he grows horns out of his head and kind of starts gaining these demonic powers, and of course that only makes the townspeople think that he's more guilty. So you kind of have to overlook the absurdity of the entire premise, and if you can do that, it's actually a really fun and pretty enjoyable film. Of course, to go along with the comedy, it's got some darker elements, and now it's raining really hard. I'm sorry. This is a good movie. 2 thumbs up. But only probably about 3 stars. It is absurd and it is funny, but it's also got some pacing issues. A lot of the dialogue isn't all that great. I think the dialogue suffered from the fact that it's an adaptation of a book, and so the dialogue, not having read the book, I don't know how much they took straight from the book, but it kind of seems like the dialogue was pulled more or less straight from the book. Of course, if I'm wrong about that, please correct me. But it kind of seems that way in that it's 3 out of 5 stars. Go watch it. It was good.